This is the Chrissy, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Good morning.
Rise and smile.
Nova. Chrissy, Sam and Brownie, live from the Lower Town Hall for their annual Comedy Festival show.
Melbourne International Comedy Festival, March 30 to April 24. On sale now. Tickets and info at comedyfestival.com.au.
The Melbourne Town Hall for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Give us one more little cheer for this Lent.
Judith Lucy's on the show. Lucy. Comedian and author too. A good friend of Sam's and his drinking buddy.
Oh, his drinking buddy, Judith Lucy, welcome.
Look, Chrissy, so lovely to be here and so lovely to be just alive, actually.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean? That seems quite cryptic.
It means the last time I saw you in Adelaide, Sam Pang, I had COVID.
What?
And
you didn't give it to him?
Tried to kill me.
No, I
Tried to
think
kill
I
me.
gave it to Zoe Coombs' ma, and I think I gave it to Sam's partner. But no.
And Scotty didn't get it.
I'd rather not talk about Scotty.
So how does
We will
Denise
get-
Scott?
we-
How does Denise Scott not? This was at a dinner we
Well,
went to.
it's a really good idea. Yeah, it's a really good question. It's a really good question. So, yes, I have. Look, be jealous, everyone. So I've had COVID. I was in isolation and Adelaide. So you know what? Colour me lucky. Some of us are just born, with a fairy having kissed us.
Good place to be in isolation, though.
Oh, well, this was a point that someone made to me, Brownie, that actually not being able to leave your hotel room is the best way to see Adelaide. And look, I know, everyone, that I shouldn't blame the entire city of Adelaide for giving me COVID, and yet I do. Anyway, so can I brief you? I'd seen you a couple of nights beforehand, so I sort of hold you and Adelaide weirdly responsible. Anyway...
Just take it, Sam.
I haven't had
Thank
it.
you, Chrissy.
You're the one who had it.
Exactly.
He just doesn't tell people.
Disease-infected woman.
Well, and you say you haven't had it.
I
but
haven't had it.
Maybe you just don't test yourself. Maybe you just blithely go around
Trust me,
infecting
he tests
people.
himself.
Let
He
me just
tests
go,
himself.
let me just go to the pocket.
I'm
So this
sorry,
is
Chrissy,
this is
that
a negative
sounds-
rat test, right, from this
Oh, my
morning.
God, you're holding it up as proudly as a pregnancy test. Just put it away. I'm simply not interested.
Or he might have had it. He might be part of... Remember the original Aspen cluster?
Brownie,
Might have
I
been,
think
yeah.
you're on to something.
Yeah.
I actually, and in fact, I think you're working for an enemy government. Anyway, someone's needed to say that for a long time. So, a couple of days later, Denise Scott and I meant to do a show, and I had a really bad cold, and of course, why do we bother with the rats, everyone? Because I had 2 negative tests. Well, I clearly had it. Anyway, then it went to my chest really quickly. So, this was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have been rushed to emergency while Denise Scott was packing her suitcase and getting on a plane straight back to Melbourne, because that's what friendship looks like. That's right, everyone.
Well,
The
she was in
word-
Adelaide.
Well, she may
was
have
in
been,
Adelaide. She
Brownie,
made
but
you escape.
was that any reason just to abandon me entirely?
In fairness to Denise Scott,
Oh,
she,
here we go.
she does come under the most vulnerable category.
I don't care, Chrissy. I simply don't care. So then I've gone to emergency. I'm, they've done the blood test, they've done an ECG. I'm lying there all alone. My chest is still really tight, and I'm thinking, well, Judith, this is how people die. But that's okay. Maybe now's your moment in Adelaide in emergency. And then a lovely nurse in the full protective gear popped his head around the corner and said, Judith Lucy, I loved you in Cracker Jack, which was a movie that some of you are possibly too young to even recall. But I was...
You were excellent in it.
And I
You
looked
were.
really hot in a lawn
You did,
bowls
you
outfit,
did.
Chrissy,
You
and
did.
I'll wrestle anyone to the ground who says otherwise.
No
But
one would.
After that lovely nurse said that, I just said to him, that's really lovely, but what I actually need from you is, am I having a heart attack?
Yes.
Am I dying? Anyway, I wasn't, and here we are. But since then, Denise Scott and I have not been in a room together.
And
so
is
good
that,
luck, everyone.
Is that an accident, or are you really cranky with each other? Because she intimated earlier that there was a rift.
Well, It's true, Chrissy. And I have been on the phone to Julia Morris and Kitty Flanagan. I've been ringing around and, you know, hoping that someone will step in, but so far nothing. What are you up to? What are you up tomorrow at 6:45? Feel like popping along to the Playhouse?
I reckon I could do it. I'm good with props. And I've heard that there's props.
There are lots of props. And you've seen Denise Scott. She can't move. So it's not like you'd have to do much. Do you know what I mean? I carry her anyway. So let's, thank you.
It's just 6:40. Your show's on at 6:45. You sure that's early enough for your demographic, by the way?
Look, we were aiming for midday. But, you know, they insisted on it being once the sun had gone down, which was disappointing because I like being home by 7:30.
Yes, 100%.
Well,
in bed by 8.
I'm telling you guys, of course, breakfast radio was all about, you know, being home in time for Foyle's War or something on the ABC.
Foyle's War.
That you're done by 8:30.
Foyle.
Jude, have you returned to full health? Are you back walking again?
That was actually involuntary.
Oh, my God.
That little splutter.
You sound so poorly.
You don't sound like you're over it.
No, I am pretty much over. I'm tired, but is that just because I'm looking at you? I don't know.
Dude,
I'm glad you do this on air, by the way.
still here is the show. It's with Denise Scott. If they repair their fractured relationship, it kicks off at the Arts Centre, the big one, tomorrow night.
Arts Centre.
Flash.
Oh, yeah,
Tickets
fancy.
at comedyfestival.com.au. We love you, Judith Lucy.
Thank you.
Uncle Dave O'Neill's coming up. Hopefully he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Don't move.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie.
Make up for missed holidays with whatif.com this Easter.
Ocean view apartment for me, water park for the kids. Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
We're at the Town Hall. It's the Melbourne International Comedy Festival show, and our family member is here now.
He does gigs every day. He's a comedian. Feels it when one of them read away. That's Chrissy, Sam or Brownie. It's Dave O'Neill.
It sure is.
Wow.
The best hair in the biz, it's Dave O'Neill.
Our lips are sealed.
Have a look at this. What is this crowd now? The biggest room you've worked for a while.
It is true. Monday night I was in Nagambie doing 35 people. So, and let me tell you, a guy in tats from Wodonga said, if I don't like your jokes, I'm just going to go up and bitch slap you. So,
yes.
So this is what's happening with comedians. And I'm doing a show called The Best Hair in the Business where I provoke bald people.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to get slapped. Imagine if I look out and Tom Gleeson and Tom Gleisner are sitting there, which won't happen, but anyway.
You'll be in all sorts
Has
of
anyone tried to slap you before?
Yeah. I had that feud with Craig McLachlan, remember? Does anyone remember? No one remembers.
No one remembers. Please tell me.
Okay, so what happened? I was on your mate's show, the Mick Malloy show on Channel 9, and I made a joke about Craig McLachlan because he was in the Happy Days Arena Spectacular playing Fonzie.
Of course.
And you're probably thinking, why isn't that show still on? That sounds awesome. That should have been like Cats. They should have been playing every night of the week. And so he was playing Fonzie, and I said, he said in the paper he wanted to change Fonzie up and make some changes to him. I said, you can't change Fonzie. What are you going to do, take your shirt off? You know, because remember he always used to take his shirt off, Craig McLachlan.
Yeah.
And anyway, so the next week I was sitting in the makeup chair, and Red Simons from Hey Hey, because it was in the same studios. I didn't say this was a current story, by the way.
Most of our show isn't, don't worry about it.
No, don't start now, Dave.
It's more of some of your more tropical stuff, by the way.
Kamal walks in. Anyway, whatever. Applebert Humpledick. Anyway.
I'm sorry, no, wait a minute. How did you pronounce that person's name?
Sorry, did I say Applebert Humpledick? Did I say?
So wrong.
What is it?
Appleward Humperdinck.
Oh.
No, it's...
You know the proper pronunciation.
No, I just did it wrong like you.
Engelbert
Humperdinck.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Red Simons goes to me, hey, we had Craig McLachlan on the show today, and he hates your guts and he wants to bash you.
Oh, my God, that's threatening and awful.
I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, he heard what you said about him. So anyway, the next day I'm in a cafe in South Yarra with my loving partner, and Craig McLachlan walks in a singlet with two huge guys. They look like bodyguards, and I hid under the table. So I pretended I dropped the menu.
Such a courageous guy.
I was hiding under the table, and Kieran's going, what are you doing? I said, it's Craig McLachlan. He's going to bash me. I literally crawled out.
You pretended to drop the menu. They had menus at McDonald's back then, did they? That's amazing from you. I didn't know that they ever did that.
Yeah, then he came with a plastic tray and whacked me on the head. and spilled my McFlurry, which was terrible.
I always wonder.
So he didn't see you?
He didn't see me, but I tell you what, years later, I interviewed him on the radio. It might have been this station. And I said, "Oh, do you remember when you said that?" I said that thing. He's like, "No, I don't remember that. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true." He left the room and his manager goes, "I remember it. He wanted to bash you."
Craig McLachlan wanted to bash you. What's the name of your show? By the way, you know, we all love you.
Yeah,
the audience wouldn't know you.
Of course they do.
I wouldn't say they love you, but they know you.
They know me, but they don't necessarily come and see your show.
There's a woman here, Heather.
Yeah, good on Heather.
Is it Heather?
In the front here from Narrow Warren. She just won the 1,000.
No, what's your name again?
Heather at.
Just be quiet for a minute, sorry. Amanda. Who was at my hens night that we did for Vega when you had the spray tan and you did a striptease.
Oh.
She has seen that. That's in one of her core memories now. Before you go home, apologise.
Dave, how much nudity was in the striptease?
Oh, I think I got down to a G-banger. It was really...
You think? You absolutely did.
It was really disturbing, wasn't it? And we recruited listeners to strip with us.
No.
So there was a milkman, there was a plumber.
So it sounds like a fever dream, but that poor woman who has now been compensated to the tune of $1,000 has in her core memories you... like the colour of curried sausages.
Oh, it was
awful. You and Ian Dicko Dixon.
It was awful. And someone
dancing and taking all their clothes off.
I'll do it again. Hang on, here we go.
Do not.
You sure?
Why do you say yes to these things?
I don't know. It's the same reason you say no to them. I don't know.
Hey, I just want to ask you about COVID, because Judith Lucy was in here before.
Yeah.
Now, you think you've avoided COVID, but she had COVID, and because she keeps testing negative on the rat test, she didn't think she had it. Maybe that's what you have had.
Well, it's good news, because I went to the doctor, and I am worried about COVID, and he said, don't worry, because you sleep with a CPAP every night, which is an oxygen mask with a hose attached.
That's no way to refer to your wife.
Hello, ladies. And,
there's nothing hotter than a CPAP.
As I say to my wife, time to make love to Snuffleupagus again. Strap yourself in. But he said, my doctor said, because you sleep with a CPAP, he goes, you'd be great on a ventilator. That's what he said.
That's it, you're match fit.
His actual words were, you'd smash a ventilator.
You're match fit. Hopefully you're going to smash this year's festival as much as you'd smash a ventilator.
Get along and see a man who once said to me, I once followed Kevin Bartlett at the Altona Hockey Club.
Terrible.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
Best hair in the business is his show. It's at the European Beer Cafe, which is a great room. From tonight, tickets at comedyfestival.com.au.
Plenty of room.
Put your hands together.
Plenty of tickets?
Plenty of tickets available.
Dave O'Neill.
Someone here is going to win $1,000 if you can get to the Town Hall. Pop in. Still to come, Urzila Carlson.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissy, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
We're at the Melbourne Town Hall for the International Comedy Festival, and 2 more guests to go, and we saved the best till last.
She's a judge on The Masked Singer and a comedian. Catch her on HYBPA. You say it best when you say Urzila Carlson.
Here she is. Everybody's darling Urzila.
That's beautiful.
I know. I know. We wrote it especially for you.
What a wonderful little insight into who we're working with. Dino announcing you as the save till the best till last, and we've got David O'Doherty coming up after you.
Yeah. Who's listening? Who's listening right now?
Yeah.
Now, Ursh, we haven't
Well,
seen.
to be fair, he's on last.
Yeah.
So he's basically burned me and going, you're not the best. The best is coming.
That's true.
Yeah. So thanks for that.
Hey, my pleasure.
Yeah. I always thought there was a bit of aggression between you and I.
Finally,
I mistook it for sexual tension. But here we are.
Obviously, with lockdown and stuff, we haven't seen you IRL for a very long time.
Yes.
You and Sam are very good friends.
Don't touch me.
Have you missed him?
I've missed you.
I know, and you won't stop texting. Like, sometimes I have to say to him, mate, I just need to spend time with my kids. Stop FaceTiming me. Like, you don't need to do it when you wake up in the morning.
And what about the pics that he's sending you?
Oh, God.
How's that?
Rightio. Where's this going?
Not like a former Australian cricket captain.
No, it wasn't nasty pictures. Like, he'll go, what do you think of the moustache? And I'm like, mate, it's taking years. Like, mine grows in faster. Just behave. You know, like, I love giving you input on your life, but I think you need to refer to your family, bro.
Why? They're not that interesting. By the way...
That's what your wife says about you, too. Like, you're not the only one in your family texting me, mate.
Is this
Let's just say I've gotten real close to them, missus.
Well, wish her my best.
She doesn't want it. She's got my best.
Yes, she does. Urzila, your show...
Why am I even here, by the way?
Why are you? Urzila, your show
Welcome
this
back.
year is, it's personal.
It is personal.
How personal are we going to get with you?
It's proper personal. Like, I'm going to go, not full TikTok personal, not story time personal, but I just think, like, everyone just flops everything out now in public, and then they get offended when people talk about it. Like, I'm not saying Will Smith and his entire family, but... They do. They get offended. It's like, we wouldn't know any of this stuff if you didn't put it out there for the public to know. And as you know, I'm pretty private. I don't put anything of my life out there. But then I thought, you know, I feel like a global pandemic. It's like, we've all been through this. You know, I almost feel like the public deserves to know how much my life sucked in the last 2 years.
Yes. It's going to be cathartic.
Yeah. You know, because now I haven't...
What are some headlines?
Well, I haven't really worked in 2 years, so I couldn't afford therapy. So this is it.
Great.
No, I'm just, you know, like, a lot of stuff has happened, and I want to talk about it. I can't really give you little snippets because I still have to write the show. No.
Like
well, I'm definitely coming along to it. Your show last year was unbelievable.
It was fine.
I still think about it.
At best.
Can I ask? Palais.
Yeah, how good was that? I loved those shows.
It was magical. I loved it. Thank you. I love you.
See, how hard is that? You should do stuff like that. Give me compliments.
Sincerity.
Instead of touching my hair all the time.
I wanted to genuinely ask you. You know, anytime in the last 2 years that we did have contact, you seem to be in lockdown. Not lockdown. Yeah. You were in ISO because you were traveling. Yeah, quarantine. That's the one. Yeah. How many weeks did you do in quarantine?
10 weeks.
Right.
10 weeks.
10 weeks all up. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I finished porn.
You came to the end of it.
All of it. Yeah. I finished all of it.
Yes, what happens at the end?
Oh, they just sit there playing cards.
Dino.
No one will be watching anymore, and there's just a guy with a mop at the back. It's great. Weirdly, that looks a lot like you.
I think it is, Dino.
Career prospects.
Hey, are we going to get to New Zealand? We've been talking about our golf trips to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Are we any chance of getting back there? What's it like over there?
Yeah, no, it's great. Our mum's pretty strict. Like, she's still, you know, Jacinda still makes us wear masks and stuff. And, you know, she, like, as soon as COVID hit, she's like, the floor outside your house is lava. Don't try me. You know? She's like one of those, you know, when you go shopping with your kids and all the toys have that little thing on that says, try me. That's Jacinda. She's like, try me.
Sounds like hard work. Sounds like we're not going to play golf soon.
I don't think so.
No, you should come over. I'll host you. You boys can share the kids' bunk beds, yeah?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Who's
fun.
going top bunk?
Sleep with the lights on.
I'll be
Sam
on the
will be on top.
We've got a little bit more time. Can I hear more of your thoughts on the Oscars thing? Because I still can't believe what I saw.
Yeah, were you watching?
I was. I loved it. I was like, oh, this is full on. I mean, to be fair, no one should try that at the comedy festival, like, because most comics got real fat and sassy during lockdown, so you don't want to go up to a fatty. Like Chris Rock, like, I could punch him. No, I thought that was really out of control. Like, violence is never the answer, unless it's in the car, you know. If it's, like, no, I mean, road rage is acceptable. We've all agreed on that. Or when someone cuts in front of you in the line, then that's fine.
Fair enough.
But not when someone makes a joke. And, you know, the whole thing was just, you could tell, like, Will Smith enjoyed the joke. He's like... And then he saw his missus didn't like it, and he's like, oh, no, this is going to be an awkward car ride home. I've already laughed. Now you need to make a bigger gesture, or that's going to be awkward as hell. So then he's like, okay, I can't just hug her now because she'll do that get off me thing, you know. When yeah, you know when your husband's stuffed and you... You know, you're so angry, words or sounds don't want to come out. Yeah. So he knew this is going to make a big gesture here. He's not getting roses at the Oscars, so he had to smack him. He literally had no other options, I think.
But do you think he wasn't happy with the smack, though? Because then he's doubled down and started shouting from his seat.
Yeah, you know what? I think when because you could tell by his stride, he sort of had that halfway. He's like, oh, dang, I shouldn't do this.
I'm
but
committed.
He couldn't. Yeah, he was too far down the... Like, what do you do? walk up and hug him. It's like, and then he smacked him, but he sort of did that weird. He went in like he was going to hit him like full fist, but then smacked him with a flat hand. And you could tell afterwards, like, there wasn't even that momentum pull from Chris. He was like, what just happened? So I don't think it was as hard as it sounded.
You should commentate boxing. That was off the hook.
Thank you.
It's very insightful.
Make sure you get tickets to see Urzila Carlson. She is absolutely world class.
It's
and,
personal.
Everyone's favourite.
You going to plug your little podcast too, by the way?
Oh, yeah. It's not a little podcast. It is huge. It's just won 2 awards, Best New Podcast and Best Podcast.
I generally don't do podcasts, but I've agreed to do yours.
That's right.
I can't wait.
I'm not doing it then.
Yeah.
Comedyfestival.com.au. Just
we
go.
love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Urzila Carlson. What a legend.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie.
We're live from the Town Hall, and a big shout out to our magnificent audience that's been here for the entire show. Our last guest has just arrived. Let's do this.
David O'Doherty, an Irish comedian, author, musician, actor and playwright who has a show called Ho-Ho, It's Me at the RMIT Capitol Theatre from tomorrow night. All the tickets are at comedyfestival.com.au. Here's O'Doherty.
Nature is healing. Another international in our midst. So glad to see you.
I didn't realise till I was watching this from over there. I mean, this won't mean much to the listeners, but I am dressed as Sam's sort of stepbrother from... We're both in shorts, caps, tracksuit tops. It's like our stepdad moved to Ireland and we come back and it turns out we're brothers. This is unbelievable.
And a green, is that a green... What is it? Is that a hurling or Gaelic football shirt?
Let's not go into this. I got in last night at 1 a.m, Brownie, and then I woke up at 6 o'clock. What's that, a friendly soccer international between Ireland and Lithuania? I better watch that. Well, I better wear an Ireland jersey while I'm watching it in bed. So I'm wearing the Ireland football jersey from 1986.
Well, Sam wore a green Mexican jersey yesterday.
Yes,
I had a nice one on.
Yeah, you had a nice one on.
Mexico,
a real good one.
It's different. It's different, guys.
It looks the same.
The food is very different.
David, in a sentence that is unusual to read out loud, Dave spent the first year of the pandemic isolating on a remote Irish island with his parents.
Yeah.
Please explain.
So I was meant to come to Melbourne to do your radio show on the 15th of March, 2020, but somebody ate a bat and we all had to stay indoors for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're going to fly all the way just to do our show?
I was going to do that, Brandon, yeah. But instead, I decided to... Between my parents are 83, Anne and Jim, adorable, possibly listening to this. Between them have every known underlying condition. Yeah. You know when they would list things that you shouldn't have for the pandemic? It was like bingo in the car. And so we moved to a remote island where my granny had lived and stayed there for a year, and I had the most incredible time with two. They're so in love. It's absolutely sickening. And I just
what does that look like?
I was going to say, island aside, you've basically moved back in with your parents.
Yeah, 25 years after I moved out, I moved back in, and because our roles have changed, because I'm now kind of looking after, they brought me up, but I'm looking after them a bit now, and there's times I'd walk into the room, all the roles have changed. They'd both be laughing, and I'd be like, sorry, what are we laughing at here? And they'd be like, nothing, you wouldn't get it. David, you dickhead, you dickhead. So yeah, it's beautiful because I have an appreciation for how much effort they put into raising me, and now I realise that we're quits because I do all of their tech. I've turned into a help desk in my 46th year. Like my father, just one of the times when the pandemic was at its craziest was the same day my father got the classic email from the bank to say that the bank had burned down and they'd lost all his personal details and could. And I'm like, you didn't, not the 3 numbers on the back. Yes, the 3 numbers on the back of the card.
Oh, God.
And so once a week there would be a major emergency, and that's how I showed them my love, was by staying on hold for 6 hours with various credit card companies.
Jeez.
Thank God for you.
Are you happy to be back in Melbourne? You've been coming for 20 years.
Yeah.
To the Comedy Festival. You're happy to be back.
Brownie, it is genuinely emotional to be back doing this. I'm serious. The show opens tomorrow. I may cry, even though the show is so stupid and full of such stupid, funny jokes that I've been writing for the last, 2.5 years. There's times I can bear. I'm just, like, there was that, I genuinely thought this might never happen again. You know, especially during the first sort of zombie apocalypse part where they were like, there should be a vaccine in the next 4 to 7 years. Oh, that's brilliant. Great.
Yes,
and then
I agree.
They identified... Chris, you remember that? They identified laughter as, like, a dangerous thing because of, like, it was not it was the worst medicine in many ways.
Yeah.
And so it was just, I may never get to do that job. And now I'm really appreciating it.
How many gigs do you reckon you've done in the last 2.5 years?
I didn't do a gig for 18 months, having done 250 gigs a year for 20 years.
So what you're saying is you'll be a bit rusty.
You'll be fresh.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at it.
Fresh, yeah, you'll be fresh and ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I've got a lot of things to say.
David, you know how some people cheat death and then they're like, I've survived that. I'm going to live like there's no tomorrow now.
Yes.
Are you doing that with your comedy in any way?
I mean, I don't know if I cheated death so much as just had a really boring 2 years. Does that count as cheating death? But I certainly won't take it for granted anymore. The idea of, when you're doing something since you were 21 and, a couple hundred people turn up, you're like, oh, yeah, cool. But now I just feel like hugging everyone, which I won't do because I've just come from Europe.
Yes. Yes. You're going to really love the festival. Last year we had a small window in this fair city where we were able to get out. It was in between lockdowns and the vibe in the street was absolutely breathtaking, and it's going to be the same this year, and I'm so thrilled that you're going to get in amongst it. You're just going to love it.
Like the memories, even this stage here, I did a children's book reading here in this room, and it was where the 2 greatest heckles I've ever received. So one is, he was about 4, this is in this room, and he said, excuse me, does this get good soon? So that's someone who's sitting over there. And then I foolishly went back to the audience later in the show, and an 8-year-old girl said, what is the point of you? And that is the most philosophical heckling.
You gotta
are
see
the
David's
best.
show. It's at the RMIT Capitol Theatre Flash. Tickets at comedyfestival.com.au. David O'Doherty, everyone.
Good.
Get tickets.
Thank you to everyone
mate.
who rocked up today. Real quick, Zoe Coombs-Marr, Alex Ward, Adam Rosenbach, Tom Gleeson, Judith Lucy, Dave O'Neill, Denise Scott, Mark Watson, Thorno, Becky Lucas, and of course you, David. If you go to the Warnie thing tonight, just a reminder, it kicks off at Gates at 5:30, a movie at 5:45. Anything else?
Thanks to the audience, you may now be released.
Thank you so much for coming. It was great to see you guys.
See you again.
Bye.
Enjoy your festival.
Comedy.
Chrissy, Sam and Brownie, Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissy, Sam and Brownie, unless it's a weekend.
Over 100.